good thing.
Okay. So today we're going to talk about the controversial topic.
Dun, dun, dun.
Don Cherry.
Don Cherry. This past couple, what was the weekend or the couple days ago?
Couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Remembrance Day.
Yeah, that was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We are Friday.
You
Gosh,
sure?
that week went by really quick. I thought I was going to say Thursday. I'm like, wow. No,
It's Friday.
Friday.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Yeah.
Anywho, we're talking about the Don Cherry, the firing of Don Cherry after his "you people" remarks. What's your stance?
Well, it's touchy, which I get why. I just feel like we're just living in a time where people are looking for things to jump on, and so I will admit that he could have used better language.
I think you need to speak up.
I do believe.
Oh, no. Because remember, there's something else. Okay, go. Now you can talk.
Yes. So again, I listened and saw the interview that he was on and made these remarks. Was it appropriate? No, it wasn't. But it wasn't, I don't think, said in a manner that people took so aggressively and harshly. Again, we're living in a very sensitive time, so everyone is looking for things, I feel, to just jump on and dissect and I'm going to sue this person and defamation of character and all kinds of stuff that just kind of didn't exist or wasn't as serious with previous generations. I just think that it was taken a little out of context. I will admit that he could have used better language, better wording. He was passionate and speaking passionately about something that he believed in, which was not wrong. I think, his point was good. People really should consider wearing a poppy for the people who gave up their lives and the veterans that fought in the war so that people could, be free and have the type of lifestyle that they have in Canada. But his deliverance could have been a little bit better. So that's my stance. Would I have fired him? No. But I would have definitely, I think his friend, who was his friend? The guy that was sitting beside him. I don't know these guys personally. I just know that, Don Cherry's the hockey guy, watching him all these years on TV with my dad and everything else. But the other guy, I don't know his name.
I don't know.
He sat right beside him and didn't say anything and didn't chime in, which I think, given the harshness of how everyone's feeling about it, maybe this guy should have said something as well. But I do think it was a little extreme to fire him, given the way it was said and what was said. That's just kind of how I feel, without disrespecting anyone or making anyone feel.
No, well, because why? We don't have censorship.
No, yeah. But people are very touchy. And
well, that's the whole thing.
I didn't say you people. I said people.
I wrote a blog about it, actually, and my stance is that, whether or not, first of all, when you say you people, it's derogatory because it's classifying someone that doesn't look like you. It's classifying a group that you are not identifying with.
Right. Okay, so when he said you people, who was he talking about?
Oh, he cleared that up. He said that the immigrants. Yeah, he didn't say immigrants, but he said you people. I have the quote, but it was you people that come to our country. Yeah.
Okay. See ya.
And something about milk and honey. I'm still waiting for mine, milk and honey, because I'm an immigrant. I want my milk and honey, Dawn.
He didn't say that. He said that? I didn't see that part.
Well, it's the whole thing.
Oh.
He said, he was being very specific. that want to come here and live off the land. I don't know. So even though he was not being specific on which immigrant he was talking about or what kind of immigrants, but he was kind of referring to immigrants. And I'm an immigrant, but I buy a poppy, so I guess I wasn't part of the Venn diagram. I guess there's immigrants and then immigrants that buy a poppy, so I guess he wasn't referring to me.
Did you take that as a derogatory statement to you?
No, but like he said what he said, and whether or not he didn't mean it in that context, he blatantly said it, and then he's not apologizing. So I admire him for that, because he's owning it. He's not apologizing. He stands by what he says. He says that's not what he meant. Do I think I don't think what I want to talk about is there was such an uproar, like this was like a huge thing because he got fired for saying it, and then Jess Allen, she's on The Social, she's a co-host,
right? And
she went off, which I was like, oh my god, it's like watching a train wreck. She went off and she started talking about that hockey is basically people who play hockey they have inappropriate behavior, and it's typically a white dominated sport, and the parents should spend, it's about $5,000 a year, and they should spend why do they spend money on that? They should spend money on going on a trip and getting out of their bubble.
Wow. And is this girl white?
Yes, but that's what the irony is. It's like you can't fight racism with racism. It cancels. It's like a double negative. Like, just because, okay, so you just made it worse. Okay, she's talking now. And then she called him like a racist, and she went on and on and on. Like, it just wouldn't stop. Like, I'm like, okay, somebody, where's the gong? Like back in the day, the gong should take a commercial break. Do something. Cut her off. She went off. Like, she was going to have a seizure, I think. Like, she was like foaming, she's out of control. So
passionate.
We're all passionate. Calm down.
Not me.
Calm down, Jess Allen. She should be fired.
Ooh.
Yeah. I said it.
So let's just play devil's advocate. Now, I know we live in Canada, and we're very fortunate to live in such a free country.
Me being an immigrant.
You've stated that several times.
Born in England.
So then give up your Canadian passport.
I'm saying I'm not saying I don't want to be Canadian.
Well, it sounds like it.
I'm just saying, I just want to make it known that I'm an immigrant.
It's been stated several times in this conversation. Did you want to say it one more time for the people in the back?
I'm good.
Okay. So let's just say, devil's advocate, like I was talking about. So Don Cherry has these statements that he said, and clearly it offended many people. And then, of course, you have the other side where, you hear everyone saying, well, he said what everyone is thinking, but perhaps he said it in a way that could have been delivered better. So, for him to be fired is very harsh. But what he said, there was truth to what he said. It wasn't deliberately being racist. It was just a statement, whatever. So you have both sides. Now, our counterparts in the United States have a jackass for a president who is blatantly racist and doesn't try one bit to cover it, or at least candy coat his racist remarks, or the things he says about immigrants or people that are not from his country. And yet still he's still in office, or you still have these supporters of his that really truly believe and follow him in terms of what he says and what he stands for. So it's kind of like, why is it on one hand acceptable where a leader of a country, of a powerful country, can just...
But that's the thing. We're separating Canada and the States. We're not the States. So that's number one. Number two, I don't think necessarily... I think the issue is that in the 70s, this this was normal. Like we have like sitcoms that are, you know, like I was saying, like, you know, Archie Bunker and George Jefferson used to banter, and they used to say racist things back and forth, and it was, you know. However, it's just about these are the times. So you know better, do better. Okay? Yeah, maybe back then nobody called attention to, hey, you know, it's kind of like a racist slur.
Well, and especially when you have that type of platform and you're in front of a camera and people are tuning in to see you and watch you. It's like you have to kind of be aware that you have to be sensitive to that type of stuff.
And if someone is offended by something, they have a right to say that that was offensive. And yes, do I think Don Cherry's racist? I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know him personally. I don't think he meant it in a racist way. I don't think he is racist. But people took offense.
Right.
So that's all that matters. They took offense. How, on the flip side though, Jess Allen, she needs to be fired too. If you're playing,
I gotta watch it. I have to watch the Jess Allen one.
If you cannot, it doesn't cancel each other out. You cannot call somebody something and then you're basically doing the same thing. Like when you say something about a group of people and you're stereotyping them into one area, that's racist. It's prejudiced, it's biased, and you're sitting there, and it's okay for you to talk about white guys playing hockey and, you know, they're bullies, and she went on and on and on and on, and it wouldn't stop. It just, I was like, oh my God, where's the Apollo clown? Somebody take her away.
Well, what were the other girls doing?
They're just saying nothing.
Were they looking uncomfortable? Like,
no.
Oh.
And then she did this pseudo apology, which, I don't know. That's all you have to do. It comes to the time now where you can say something so offside. Yeah, I said it, a hockey reference, and just apologize. Sorry, that wasn't my intent. That's the worst one. Sorry, that wasn't my intent. No, you're not sorry, or you wouldn't have said it. I'm sorry that offended you.
Yeah, it's touchy.
It's
touchy. I mean, you're gonna get a case from...
Hi, Raj.
You know, people can make a case out of every and anything these days. And I'll just go back to saying, when you have a platform where you're in front of the public and you're in the public eye and, you know, people are tuning in to hear you speak or to see you or whatever, then you really do have to be on your P's and Q's about what comes out of your mouth, because these things are going to happen.
That's why I have to respect him in a way. He's owning it. He's saying, I didn't mean to say it like that. I shouldn't have said it like that. I didn't mean it like that. He said, I should have said everybody, but I stand by what I said. I'm not going to censor myself.
Well, it would be wrong for him to now take it back at this point because he's let it go for so long. So he has to stand by his word. Because if not, then he's going to kind of look like he has no balls.
They asked him to apologize, and he said he's not doing it. That's why they fired him. He didn't get fired, and then he tried to apologize. They said, like, basically, are you going to apologize?
Yeah, and I don't think he
no.
understood that the apology was just because people felt offended from what he said. He was more so saying, I'm not going to apologize for what I said because I meant what I said. I don't think he understood why he was being asked to apologize. From what I gather, I don't know. But again, you know, when you're in the public eye and you have that type of following, you've got to know what time of day it is, especially this generation that's so touchy and it's very sensitive. And there are so many immigrants in Canada. Like, forget any other country, but we're known for that. I think we're
all immigrants in some form. Raj says linguistic skills are different for all, and inferences are taken so many different ways. So he's all on board for Don Cherry.
I don't think he should have been fired. I don't.
It's a money thing, okay? It comes down to money, okay?
I don't think he should have been fired. I think that the man has been on TV for Hockey Night, and I'm not even a hockey person. My dad was, and for as long as I can remember, I remember him watching Don Cherry on Hockey Night in Canada. So this isn't couple years. This is like 20, 30, 40 years this guy's been on TV. So
Hockey Night in Canada's losing money. It's a budget thing. It was just like, oh, good, we get to get rid of him. He's probably the highest salaried person on Hockey Night in Canada. So, yeah.
I don't know. And I guess if they did nothing about it, then the backlash would have been even more so.
Well, that's what people were outraged. So
Right.
there was like a huge outpour. Like they stopped taking complaints because it's interfering with their networks. But on both sides, with Jess Allen too, and him.
Okay. I mean,
But she gets to keep her job.
I understand both sides. So it's difficult for me to really choose like one and say, yeah, this is the way it should be. I get that, you know, people are outraged, and rightfully so, especially if they felt offended. However, I don't personally feel he should have been, you know, it should have gone to that extent where he lost his job. He should have apologized if and when knowing he did offend
But
a lot
he's
of
not
people.
but he's not apologizing because he's standing by that's not what he meant. And of course, if you apologize, you're admitting that that's what you meant.
But you can apologize and say that. I apologize for offending whoever I offended. However, I didn't mean it that way. And that's the segue he
I
could
know,
have
but
used.
then you see, there's a slippery slope. How do you apologize for something when you know that that's not what you were inferring? Like, you know, he is standing by. I did not mean that. I meant everybody. I meant all the immigrants that come here, whatever color you are, whatever race you are. I meant you should wear a poppy.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and as do I. I agree with that as well. I think that's the least you can do to show respect for the people who paved the way for you to have the type of lifestyle and live in this country. So I agree with his statement. His deliverance was way off, and that's where he kind of lost everybody. So if he had apologized and said, you know, I didn't mean it that way. No, you did mean it. You just delivered it incorrectly.
No, I think that's just how he talks. Like, I think that's how he speaks.
But how can you say that when you just said that you don't know him? You don't know the guy?
Because I did research and they showed that he's not just known for saying this type of off.
He has like no tact.
Right.
Got it.
It's just whatever.
Well, he's one of them old school.
And does it make it right? Does it make it right?
I'm not saying it's making it right. It's just
that's
a fact.
I'm just this is a banter because that's what people were saying. Oh, he's 85. Oh, so that's
Is he 85?
Yeah.
Wow, he looks great for 85.
You're getting off.
I'm just saying, wow. I thought, wow. He's 85?
85.
Wow.
So they're saying, oh, well, that's his time. Yeah. Okay. And my grandparents probably owned slaves. So does that make it right?
No, but I can.
Does that make it right?
Karen.
If that's what we're saying.
Okay, but let's just keep it all the way real in terms of where we're going with that. Like, if I look at that generation, like our parents, case in point, my dad.
Okay.
You know my dad. You know my dad's going to speak his mind regardless of who's in the room, who feels what, at what point gets offended. And you know what he would say about that afterwards too. He's not apologizing for anybody's feelings.
Yeah, but that was not your dad in the last, let's say, little while prior to him.
Yeah, he was different, but not by much. He would never apologize or mince words. Like he wasn't was real offensive. With it. My dad?
Well, I'm talking about just before he died.
Yeah, well, I understand what you mean, but I'm saying, like, I'm giving the example of that generation of people who, like, they're old school, so they speak their minds, and it doesn't surprise me.
Okay, but all right, let's use your dad as a reference, and let's go old school your dad, like how I knew him growing up. Okay, yeah, but he's not on the news.
Okay, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about that generation of people.
Right, but correct. I get it. But then when you have now a social responsibility,
and
when you're in front of a camera and you're representing Canada and you're, talking about a sport, you have, hello.
That's the point that I made. You have that platform. You have that following. You have to be very sensitive to what comes out of your mouth, right? Especially when that's your job. Like, you can't just speak freely like that off the top.
Raj is saying too that we're too politically correct. Like the reference is if you ask 100 people how to cook a grilled cheese sandwich, you're going to get 30 different ways. So, like, you know, it's true. We're just in that we are in this era where you have to be extremely careful about what you're saying. And, you know, back in the day, and being a person, a visible minority, we are visible minorities, you know, we did not have a voice. Like, I'm growing up in the 70s, you didn't have a voice. You know, I spoke about that in my blog too. I said, you know, like when people called you, I think people called me really bad racial slurs. And, you know, my thing was, you know, my mom used to say, just tell them, you know, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Okay, that's good, right? Okay, thanks, Mom. Yay. But names do hurt, and you don't forget. Like, I didn't forget what, you know, and then, okay, but now that, you know, now that there's more people that look like me, and now that we're such a diverse population, you have to be cognizant of what you're saying, what's coming out of your mouth. Like, there, you know, educate yourself then. Make sure when you go on that TV or whatever platform you're on, make sure that you're not going to say something that's offensive to someone else.
I agree. I do agree.
See? Raj was Indian and Scottish and he was picked on. Absolutely. It's not easy growing up being different, especially when you're mixed. So, that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Don
anything
Cherry,
else that I'm going to say is just going to be a repeat. I mean...
Did he deserve to get fired? Yes. Why? Not because...
No, I don't think so.
No, because remember, he didn't get fired because of what he said. He got fired because he wouldn't apologize about what he said. So he's standing by what he said.
But the guy could have apologized and not meant it. Is that something that you want to?
No, that's why I said I have to give him props.
Right,
Like,
so...
absolutely, you know, he said it. He said that's not what he meant by it. And
there's too many fake people as it is that talk crap.
That's what he said. He goes, he's going to stand by what he said.
Yeah, man.
That's the fallout. It is what it is. So you have to respect him for that.
Mm-hmm. One of those people that will just tell you in your face and not just behind your back, you know? So you do have to commend him for that. I don't think...
Yeah, Raj, you're saying the 80s was an ignorant time. We're still in Brampton. The 80s... Yeah. B-Town. Represent.
Well, I came back to Brampton. I left for several years.
I left the country for several years.
I don't know.
And came right back to Brampton. It's like a boomerang. No, but to go back to that, yeah, the 80s were an ignorant time, but we're still dealing with people's ignorance in this day and age. Like, you shouldn't have to explain to someone why that's offensive. Like, that is offensive, to explain that that's offensive. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you, like, those words are, like, slippery slope. You people, come here for the milk and honey.
I don't want to offend anybody. That's why I just don't want to say anything.
How is that offensive?
No.
Why would it offend anybody?
I just mean, like, the bits of truth that are in his statement. There are a lot of immigrants that come to Canada. There's a lot. If you just made that. We know, Karen. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones that can't even speak English. I'm talking about the ones that bring their grandmother, their grandfather, their great-grandparents, their dog, their cat, their 7 nieces, their 14 cousins, and they all live in a townhouse. Like, if we want to get down and dirty, let's talk about it. Well, okay? I'm talking about those type of immigrants. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones, and I'm sure that's who he was talking about as well. The ones that come here, you know, you try and communicate with them, and they can't say 3 words because they don't understand the language. Or, you know, like, there's a lot of facets to this. And I think his point, which was delivered wrong, was the fact that, the least you can do is wear a symbol of respect for the people that paved the way for you to do that, to bring your entire clan or tribe to here. Oh, sorry, was that derogatory? Am I am I offending anybody? Like, we're just having a conversation. And again, just the same way how you just did that and I didn't mean anything by it, was probably in the heat of the moment for him, and he was passionate about speaking his mind and how he felt about, you know, people not representing the veterans on Remembrance Day, and that's what happened. And I don't think it's any more to it than that. I think it was just him expressing.
I 100% agree with you. You know, you do get passionate about it. And, you know, my dad was in the Royal Air Force. Apparently my great-grandfather fought in World War One. Like, this is very I'm sure everyone has somebody in their family that has fought in a war and understands the sacrifices veterans and soldiers make for us to enjoy our liberties and freedoms that we have. I just think that he specifically was saying something about immigrants, and he should have probably just said anyone who doesn't wear a poppy.
I agree.
Because I agree.
But again, we're having this conversation, and even just making that point where you felt the need to be like,
because I know what you mean. I know that it's going to be taken like, I can't believe.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened to him. That's exactly what happened to him. No, because
he specifically said, he specifically just said immigrants. Well, he didn't even say immigrants. He said people who come to this country and live off the good life or something like that. But you agree.
I agree that the least people can do is represent on that day with a poppy.
They didn't have to fire him on that day either. That was in poor taste.
I just don't think...
Yeah, he said, you people. And then he said something about living off the land.
Now, whether he's a closet racist or an open racist or racist, period, that has nothing to do with me. It's not affecting my life. And you have talks for me. You have talks for me about... Wow.
You know what's rude?
I'm so glad that that's on camera.
No, but...
I'm so
They're doing
glad.
ads now. Like, you can't even look at...
It's an app that you have
what app?
Whatever app that you have.
What?
That you have downloaded on your phone. It's...
Well, I don't like it.
You need to take it off.
I don't know which app it is.
Well, something that you did recently or whatever, because that used to happen to me, and I was like,
I don't like it. I need to find it and destroy that app immediately.
Anyway, we're just going to keep going around in circles and saying the same thing over and over. Should he have been fired? I say no. You say yes.
I said he should have, because he didn't apologize. You work for it's like,
I don't want a fake apology.
Well, he works for an employer. He's not self-employed. Okay. So they demanded him that he should apologize. Sportsnet demanded that he should apologize. He said no. So yeah. And he says yeah, okay, good.
He's 85.
You just found out.
Look good, Dawn.
Dawn, I have to say, at least you stood by what you said. I have to admire that, because I rather it in my face.
You and me both.
And then behind my back that you're like...
There's a lot of those people out there.
Yeah, lots of people that will say things behind your back, not right to your face, so you can't even defend yourself. You can't even educate them. It can't be like this is an awakening, an education moment. Can't even do that because they don't do it to your face. So I'd love to educate a few people, but they're too chicken. Cowards. Yeah, I said it.
Say it again for the ones in the back that are watching.
Cowards. Not in your face. I rather, whatever you are, own it. I don't care what it is. Just own it and be out there. See, like backpedaling Jess Allen? Not a fan. I don't like it. You said something, you didn't even stand by it. You made this pseudo apology, which I don't even know if was it apology. I'm sorry.
I've got to look at it. I didn't see it.
She went off.
Okay.
On Don Cherry and the hockey culture, and she said, I don't even like hockey. Then when her apologies, I like hockey's a good tradition. Like, which one is it? You're so wishy-washy.
She's trying to save her job, I suppose, but I don't know. Again, like, what you just said, I'm all about. Say it to my face.
Say it to my face. What do you mean, Raj? What do you mean, not me? You would rather not in your face? Oh, you gotta go. Okay, bye.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather it in my face.
Always.
That's why I respect the fact that he said what he said and he stood behind what he said. Good, bad, or indifferent. Jess Allen? I don't know. Wishy-washy. Wishy-washy. Why didn't you stand by what you said? You were very adamant when you first said it. You went on and on and on and on. And you were uncensored and no one stopped you. That's the other thing. Remember when we started the podcast, you said something about his co-host. We don't know his name. I'm sure everyone knows what we're talking about. When he said those...
Yeah, does anybody know his name?
He just sat there and said nothing. No. Oh, thanks, Raj. I still remember... What class were we in? I can't remember.
Anyhow, no. So the guy who sat beside him, I think, issued an apology.
Did he?
Yes, because he was under scrutiny as well. Like, you're not going to say anything. You're just going to sit there with a blank expression. That means you...
And he kind of, like, nodded, too, when he was saying... He was like...
And he did make a public statement, because I think he was trying to save his job, or he just wanted to seem like, this is... by no way am I associated with his feelings or his comments, but he just sat there and was indifferent.
But that's what I meant. Like, so... What's worse? If somebody's saying something offensive and you don't say anything, aren't you just as guilty?
I would say so.
Me too. It's like guilty by association. If you
at least have to check the person. And
yeah,
be like,
let's say, are you sure you wanted to say that? Like,
or
you want to
cut them right away and just kind of redirect it.
You mean everybody.
Yeah,
like, he should have did something. He just sat there and watched like him burn in flames. And then... I'm sorry. So he gets to keep his job.
Well, he's not 85. He's got some mouths to feed still. So, yeah, man. And I'm not going to lose my job for somebody else because they want to talk crap.
But you didn't say nothing.
No, but I'm just saying in that moment, so I can see why he apologized. Because he was like, hold up. This is your mess. I happened to sit there and I didn't say anything, yes. And if I had
he looked like he was agreeing
that situation,
like this.
Well, he's on camera, so he was probably just trying to process as well. Because you never know. Like, if you say something crazy right now...
You would say something.
I would, but again, our platform is different. I don't know if you're a stranger and I'm, or you're not my blood. It would be different if I'm interviewing somebody with you and I'm kind of taken aback with what you just said and I'm in front of the camera, we're live. It's like a lot of things are happening in that moment. So I can see why he went back and he apologized, because why should he lose his job as well for something that the next guy says?
Well, that's what Don Cherry was saying too. He's going, there's a lot of people that are silent, like they agree with him, but they're not going to say it out loud because they don't want to lose their job either.
Right.
So yeah, again, closet people who agree with him, but just be like, yeah.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, the worst.
Closets.
Yeah. Just come out.
Come out the closet.
If you want to be racist, embrace it. Own it. Whatever it is.
No, that takes cojones. Not everybody has those.
All right. Well, that was controversial. And he did.
Well, at this point, too, I don't know if, him... If they're gonna sign a petition or if they're gonna try to petition him back in.
They did that, but it's the network has made a decision, and yeah, there's people who are saying that he shouldn't have got fired, he should get his job back and whatever. But it's about money. Money talks. At the end of the day, it's the bottom line. He was a high-paid broadcaster, hockey night
for 100 years.
Okay, for a while. And it's losing money. So this was like, ooh, he doesn't want to apologize? Yes.
Is his dog still alive?
I think so. He's a bulldog.
It wasn't a bulldog. It was one of those...
Pit bulls?
No. Oh, what's it called? What was it called? What was the dog's name? Gosh. Cherry. Was it Cherry?
You're asking the wrong person.
No, Don Cherry. No, I'm not a hockey person. I just trying to remember. He used to bring his dog.
Okay. Well, him and the dog are not going to be on Sportsnet.
They got the boot. Gotta watch your mouths. Watch your mouth.
You just have to... Or if you are not aware if something's offensive...
Generalize it. Make a generalization and don't say
don't,
you people.
Don't say you people. It's frowned upon. Don't do that. Don't do it. And second of all, you know, because, okay, this is going completely off, but I'm going to just interject it because I was trying to do this analogy when I was speaking about this topic, was that, like, when people say to me, you're so well-spoken.
People say that to you?
Yeah. And I feel like it's such an insult. And then, of course, people feel like, but you are. And then I said...
Or you sound educated for a black person.
No, they don't do that. That's like breaking it down, but that's what they mean. That's in the bubble. Like in their thinking bubble. That's like, this isn't computing. I don't understand. What's happening here? Right. And I said, so to spin it back, I said, well, do you say that to white people? Like, do you just compliment them on their vernacular? Hey, you speak so well. And he's like, no. I go, then there it is. If you wouldn't say that to your own race, you don't think that that's offensive to someone else because it's a compliment, but it's a backhanded compliment.
Free the hounds.
And this is my whole point. If you don't, like, if you wouldn't say that, and even if you think it's a compliment, you have to think of, why do you think it's a compliment? Why would you think that?
Or you don't sound black.
Oh.
When people say that, or you don't sound black.
Or
what
you're
does black
not
sound like?
Or you're not that black.
You're lightly dusted. I've gotten that a couple times.
Olay. I used to be called Cafe Olay.
You want a hug?
No.
Okay.
Or caramel.
I still get that. I don't care anymore. All those things don't bother me, but like they did when I was younger, and of course didn't know better.
See? But that's my whole point. But this is okay. This is still happening. Like, this is.
It's never going to stop, Karen.
Well, it should. It needs to stop.
Of course, it should. Like 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Okay, but we like. Come on, we have Google. We have a search engine.
We're gonna stop now, and we're gonna end it here because it's going a little bit.
If you don't
weird.
know, ask somebody. Just ask. Ask Google. Google, is this racist? Yes. Okay. Good.
Would Google do that?
I think so. Or maybe Siri. I'm not sure.
Try it now.
No thanks. Because I'm not 100% sure.
Try it.
Just say what? Is this racist? No.
Google, by saying you people, is that making a racist
Of course it is.
statement?
I Googled it.
Oh.
That's how I know. You people, it's usually described as, it's derogatory in nature because it's describing someone that doesn't look like yourself. You are pointing out a flaw in someone. Oh my God.
It's so...
You person.
Just beating a dead horse. Like, again, show me who you are. There's always going to be racists. They're in the closet. They're in your families. Trust me. People who you think that, like, have you or have your back, don't. So it's never going to stop. People are always going to be people. It's just the way of, I guess, the human way. Is it right? No, it's not right.
What my whole point is that even if this is how you think or whatever, let this be a teaching moment then. Like, maybe you weren't aware. I don't think, see, this is the inherent problem is, I don't think people know that they're racist. No, I really don't think, that's how much of a bubble they live in, that they don't realize. That's why, like, it's so like, huh? That's racist. Like, yeah, it is.
And the magnitude of how sensitive things are in this day and age. Like, everything can be misconstrued and labeled as, out of context or something. Like, it's so sensitive now.
It's not even, okay, and I'm not even getting into that because we could be here forever. But I'm talking about your barometer should be, did it offend somebody? Did someone take offense to it? Were you describing a specific group of people based on how they look? Then if someone's taking offense to it and finds it offensive, then maybe you should just not say it.
And that right there, my friends, is the meat and potatoes.
Thanks for tuning in. Please leave your comments. I'm sure this is going to go on and on.
No, it doesn't have to. Okay. The guy got fired, man.
Yeah, there's nothing really more to say. Done. But Jess Allen needs to get fired.
I gotta really take this in.
When you see it, you'll say, yeah, she needs to get fired.
Oh, geez, okay.
It's not fair. It's like a double negative. I don't like... again, you cannot fight racism with racism. You can't do it. And she's not helping our cause. And I don't know why she's even speaking. Why is she the person that has to speak about racism?
Fight the power.
Oh, my God. Public enemy.
Number 1.
Okay, adieu. Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Bye.